You must know what you want to know who to respond to. I remember one day I went for jogging, and on my way for jogging, I was dressed up going for jogging, my sneakers and all that, and trotro drivers would be asking me, Kaswa, Okwana. Like, really? You can see I'm going for jogging. Why are you asking me whether I'm going to Kaswa? I'm going for jogging. Let's be self-aware. Let's know who we are so that we know where we are going and we know who we respond to. Hey there. Welcome to the Kwabena Power podcast, where I'll be sharing insights on surviving the various phases of life as a youth living in Ghana. I am Kwabena Dapa, your host. Hello, friends and family. You're welcome to the Kwabena Dapa podcast. And my name is Kwabena Dapa, and I'm the host for the Kwabena Dapa podcast. I want to say a big thank you to all of you for accepting the Kwabena Dapa podcast. The first episode saw an overwhelming support from my friends, from my family, from my colleagues, from even people that I don't know. And I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for accepting the Kwabena Dapa podcast. As you know, it is a podcast that I'm putting together with the aim of assisting Ghanaian youth with relevant insights and information to help them survive through the various phases of life living in Ghana. And if you have not seen the first episode, I had that first episode with Farm Konedu on Becoming 30. Please go and check it out and remember to leave a comment. Today, I want to share my experience, right? I want to share 16 points or 16 insights from my survival story. And that is the whole concept of the Kwabena Dapa podcast, to share insights and to share insights from my experiences. And I'll be having guests coming on to also share their insights. So 16 things that I have learned from my survival story. I come from a family of 6. My dad is a retired physics teacher. My mom used to be a baker. She's been a trader. She became a housewife, and now she's gone into trading again. And anytime I just think of the sacrifices and the commitment that my parents put to make sure that they raised a family, they raised a home, I'm always grateful to them for what they have done. And probably my parents will be listening to this. Daddy and Mommy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You are a very good example to us. So let's go straight into the 16 things that I have learned growing as a professional. Number 1, your choices define you, or your choices don't define you. Is what you do with the outcome of your choices, or how you appreciate the outcome of your choices. I know that oftentimes what we hear is your choices define you. You are your choices. You're the product of your choices. But I've noticed that it's really the outcome of our choices, how we appreciate and work on the outcome of our choices, that really defines us. Now, you can make a choice that will bring negative outcome, but you can work on that negative outcome for positive results. So you work on the outcome to make something good out of it. And I'll share my story. I didn't do so well in tertiary, in my tertiary education, right? I had a lower, and I expected to do better, because looking at my track record, 10 1s from GSS, 7 A's from WASI, and a lower in uni. And it was a product of a lot of choices that I made. But then I took hold of the outcome, and I worked on the outcome. And today I can say that I have made good of the outcome, or probably the negative outcome of my choices. And today I'm not too established, but I'm a growing professional in my marketing field. So to young people, your choices don't define you. It's how you appreciate and work on the outcomes of your choices. So point 2, you are lighter in motion. You are lighter in motion. I want young people to understand this, that Do not brood on your problems, right? Keep moving, keep walking. The more you move, the more you walk, and you pay attention to your steps, you are able to pick up, and you are able to learn, and you are able to achieve. Because when you sit at one place brooding on your problems, you will not be able to pick up the lessons to do more for yourself. So don't sit at one place. The moment you sit at one place, the moment you accept your reality and don't work with it and don't work for a positive outcome, you become burdened with expectations. But the moment you begin to move, have a plan, you are able to make good of whatever situation that you find yourself in. So remember this, you are lighter in motion, because as you move, you learn, you shed off a lot of things, and you pick up a lot of better things as you move. Mind your business. Guys, like this is one of the biggest scams. Mind your business. I know that our socialization in Ghana sometimes tends to put us in a place where we want to just mind our own business, right? We want to do things our own way. But I want to tell you today, young people, that really don't just stay in your space. Don't fall for that scam of minding your own business. My experience, I got my first job by not minding my business. It was a rather sad event. It was a funeral, and I just saw someone who really looked like the person who had passed. So I just approached the person. I was like, you really look like this person, and are you related? And we just struck a conversation, and we became acquaintances, later became friends, and that's where I got my first job. And from there, that person has been a destiny helper for me, because I moved beyond my space and I wasn't just minding my own business, but I was in other people's business. Yes, sometimes it can be, you can be a nuisance sometimes, but with time, if you pay attention, you're able to learn the tactics of networking and getting closer to people. And if you're able to do it well, you are able to pick up and get some positive results out of it. On the issue of love in the absence of instruction will not flourish. Love is a beautiful thing, right? But if it's not done in knowledge, you're going to shed premium tears, trust me. So this afternoon, I was watching a movie with my wife, and two people, right? They were madly in love with each other, professing all the nice things. And so they met one day and they were like, I feel we should get married, because the feeling I have about you is a feeling that I've not had with anyone that I have dated before. And the other one too articulated the same feeling. And they got married based on feeling. And a few days after their honeymoon, they started facing the realities of marriage. And it was too much for them. It's like they didn't know each other any longer or anymore. You see, I believe that there are instructions to marriage, right? In as much as there are emotions in marriage, there are emotions in love. Love is a verb, it's more of a verb than a noun, right? You have to act, and there are instructions about it. Read about it. Ask people about it. And when you are building a relationship with the opposite sex that is leading to marriage, ask the difficult questions. How many children do you want to give birth to? Where do you see yourself in a number of years? What are your long-term plans? What are your short-term plans? What schools do you want your children to go to? What kind of family do you want to raise? Why do you want to get married in the first place? Right? That's one of the most important things. Why do you want to get married? Some people see marriage as a sacrament, like more of a spiritual thing. Some people see marriage as a social event. Some people see marriage as a legal event. So where do you place in the large scheme of things? So I believe that marriage has instructions. Love has instructions. So find the manual, right? Ask the right questions. so that you do not shed premium tears when it comes to the issue of love. Let me go to my fifth point. What is simple to do is simple not to do. Like, this philosophy just makes sense when it comes to procrastination. What is simple to do is simple not to do. A lot of us procrastinate because of this. There are a lot of things that are seen to be simple, right? So we don't do them because we see them to be simple. I'll give an example. So it's like when you're in a relationship, like maybe marriage, a marital relationship, you see your spouse, right? She's dressed nicely, giving her, those nice words. You're looking beautiful today. Or saying to your husband, thank you for providing for the family. Or saying to your children, you are working hard and we appreciate it, right? Or even waking up early as a young person to get some things done. These things look so simple and we ignore them because things that are simple to do are simple not to do, and in the long run, they will cost us a lot because of the compound effect. So the things that seem simple to you as a young person, do them. Do them. Don't postpone them because they are simple things to do. Because always remember that things that are simple to do are simple not to do. Number 6, don't lose your family life or don't lose your family for a paycheck. Money can only buy things that are for sale. This is something that is very dear to me, and it's a philosophy that I hold as even a young person, or maybe a growing or a maturing adult. Money can only buy things that are for sale, right? Love is not for sale. Affection is not for sale, right? You can't buy emotions with money, right? You have to invest time in your family. You have to invest time in relationships. And if the job that you do is taking so much time from you as a family, it's about time that you have to sit down and have a very, very open conversation with the people that matter in your life, with your family. You have to have a very open conversation with them, because really, trust me, at the end of it all, you come back to the people who matter to you, right? Your paycheck cannot buy you the affection of the people around you. So as we are trying to build our lives, as we're trying to build something important for ourselves, let's remember that we shouldn't throw our family life away just for a paycheck, because money can only buy things that are for sale. The next point I want us to look at too is practice changes perceptions, right? Practice changes perceptions if only we will pay attention. And I have noticed this in my life, that the more I practice certain things that I believe in and I pay attention, it's not just about getting, we know practice makes improvement, practice makes perfect. We've heard things like that. But I want us to really pay attention to the things that we practice. Why are we practicing what we are practicing? Because the moment we pay attention to it, it affects our perception and our mindset. Anytime we create a mindset about something, we must be vulnerable enough to question it from time to time. Because something that might have worked some time past might not work in current times. And we have all seen how technology is changing rapidly and is changing our society and everything that we might probably hold dear. Certain perceptions that would have probably held dear, but technology is questioning them, and we have to sit down, pay attention as we practice these things, so that we see whether they are the things that we should hold dear to ourselves, or they are things that we should change our perception about. And for me, as an individual, there are so many things that I have my unique perception about. I have unique perception about what family life should be. I have a unique perception about what my career should look like. I don't allow other people can have their perceptions, right? They can make their suggestions, right? But I have for me what I want out of all these facets of life, because as I practice them, I pay attention, and then I question my mindset, I question my perceptions as I practice them, because I am paying rapt attention. And I wish for young people to do these things. Really pay attention to the things that you are practicing, because sometimes when you pay attention, you just realize that probably what you're practicing is not serving the purpose that you intended it to, and you have to put in some changes. Little improvements. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for improvement. This is something that I have come to love. This is a perception that I hold, and I have come to love it because I have seen my life, experienced a lot of improvement, because I was not really aiming at perfection. Sometimes we see perfection as a destination, but for me, I see improvement as a journey. So let me give you an example. I have always wanted to do this podcast, and I have been thinking of the instruments that I'll need. I'll need a camera, I'll need lights, I'll need so many things, and that costs a lot of money. But I decided that no, let me take opportunity of the things that I have. I have a phone. So the first episode that we shot with a phone, 2 iPhones. And I just took advantage of my sister, Kunedu. She just went to get an Airbnb for her birthday. And I just said, okay, we can do this there. So we moved in, shot our first episode. And what I told my team is, this is the first episode. It might not be the best, but the next one that we are going to do is going to be an improvement of the former. And the next that we'll do will be an improvement of the former. So we are not fighting or aiming at perfection, but we are aiming at improvement, because what might be perfect today, today's perfection can be tomorrow's mediocrity. So aim for improvement more than aiming for perfection, and see improvement as growth, as a process, more than a destination. The next one is one that is very interesting to me. If you are ignorant, you will be ignored. See, in today's ecosystem, you cannot afford to be ignorant. Information has abounded. You must really open up yourself to learn every day. The University of YouTube is available. The University of Google is available. There is LinkedIn Learning. There are so many platforms available to us as young people to learn. There are so many books out there for us to learn. Don't be ignorant, because if you are ignorant, you'll be easily ignored. People are working with a lot of adaptability and agility. People want people who can quickly respond to change, and people who can actually respond to change. So that's agility and adaptability. So if you are ignorant in today's ecosystem, you will easily be ignored. So let's note that as young people. And also let's note that what you read can change your life. I'll give you a clear example. I remember just when I completed university, right? I mean, with so many expectations, I wanted to do so much, and I had subscribed for this newsletter through my email. And when I read one of the newsletters, it spoke about having a prayer journal. It spoke about managing expectations. And after reading that, it really changed my perception about life. I started documenting a lot of things about myself. And then I have seen these things come alive. And when I read that newsletter, it made me understand that people go through different phases in their lives, and everybody's story is different. So after reading that, I stopped comparing myself to other people, and I decided to own my space, own my life, and run it at my pace, because I wasn't comparing myself to anyone. And I had this knowledge out of reading a newsletter. What you read can really change your life. So please, let's be careful what we read, especially on social media. Like, there's little permission asked to the kind of content that is put on our timelines. So we have to be very, very careful the things that we read on social media, because they can make or unmake us. Ambition unused diminishes. Ambition unused diminishes. I'm so grateful to God for the path that I went through, right? Right after uni, I got to work in hospitality. I left the hospitality, entered into, COVID happened, right? And then I started doing things on my own. I believe I'm a very ambitious, I know I'm a very ambitious person, right? And anytime I don't want to idle around. I always want to be doing something. I always want to be on the move. And I noticed that the more I was on the move, the more I realized opportunities. So I drove Uber for some time because I was not getting a job to do. I started books marketing. I started a business on my own, selling books. And then I also started marketing consultancy. I started my professional marketing exams, which I just wrote my last paper. I think we are in May. I wrote my last paper, yes, this month. I wrote my last paper in March. So I'm expecting to get my results in June, and I'll be an internationally certified marketing professional. And I noticed that I had ambitions, and I was acting on those ambitions. I didn't allow the circumstances around me to hold me back. And I noticed that the more I worked on my ambitions, the more ambitious I became. The more I worked on my ambitions, the more ambitious I became. So remember, never forget this. Ambitions unused diminishes. So don't sit on your ambitions waiting for the right time. There's never a right time. The right time is when you start. The right time is always when you start. People are assets, and money is an enabler. I have seen this work so much in my life. And, sometimes I see young people always moving in for the money, right? I mean, it's good. You should be commercially aware. There's nothing bad about it. But don't turn it around, right? Don't look for money and use people, right? Value people, because people are assets. People are not things to be used. People are assets to be valued. So value people as you go up the ladder, as you follow your ambitions. Don't sideline people just because you want to make money. Because money doesn't make money. It's people who make money. So when you have people around you, a classical example is when I was getting married. I had so much support from the people around me. Money just couldn't have done that for me. The support, the words of encouragement, the things that I needed to acquire. The car I used was a gift from someone. Where we had our honeymoon was a gift from someone. The setup, there's so many gifts that I had from people, and it made me appreciate that people are assets to be valued. When you value people, right, and you invest in people, they will come through for you when you need them. And money cannot do that for you. So please, let us value people as assets and not things to be used. And remember that money is but an enabler. You cannot reap, it takes me right into the next one. You cannot reap where you have not invested. Sometimes I see young people say that, the older generation have to support us. They have to do this. Maybe probably you have an uncle who is who has a lot of money, and you think that because he's your uncle, you are entitled. He's entitled to support you. Your uncle, your family members are not entitled to support you. if you have not invested anything in them. So remember this, reinvest in people so that when you need support from them, they remember what you have invested in them. That should be something that should stay with us young people, especially of this generation. You can't reap where you have not sown. You can't ask support from where you have not invested. Don't be entitled to anyone's wealth. Don't be entitled. That entitlement mentality, don't have it, right? Work hard, support people, and that is how you can also get support from others as well. It takes time to be creative, so start early. I remember in my career, at a point I became a go-to person. Like when my bosses needed something, they knew that when they come to Kwabena has it. Because I started early. And now, as a marketer too, I've been able to develop a lot of creatives, right? Because I started early. I read a lot. I engage with people. So it has helped to build up my creativity. Creativity takes time. Don't expect to just enter a field and become valuable. It takes time to create value. So please, let's start early. Let's work on our ambitions. Let's push it. And with time, you will be valued. There are some times that you start and you might not be valued. I remember when I worked in a certain hotel, I didn't feel I was valued the way I wanted to be. And when I sat down, I just had to tell myself the truth that I needed to get information. I needed to make myself valuable. So I started working. I started engaging people in conversations. I started reading. I started taking up courses. And today, there is no room that I will enter and I will not be of value. Not because I want it, but I've worked for it. It has taken time and it has added up to my creativity. You must know what you want. You must know what you want to know who to respond to. You must know what you want to know who you should respond to. I remember one day, I love jogging, right? I love jogging. I remember one day I went for jogging, and on my way for jogging, I was dressed up going for jogging, my sneakers and all that. And trotro drivers would be asking me, Kaswa, Okwana. Like, really? You can see I'm going for jogging. Why are you asking me whether I'm going to Kaswa? I'm going for jogging. But I didn't respond to them because I knew where I was going. If you don't know where you are going, you will respond to every call. So please, let's be self-aware. Let's know who we are so that we know where we are going and we know who we respond to. Especially if you're a young person and you are full of talent. There will be a lot of calls placed on your talent. If you don't know where you are going, that is where you start facing issues of premature elevation or the word is not coming. But what I'm trying to say is you might just be blown out prematurely and your talent will fizzle out because you have not built the momentum to stand the test of time. And I think this is the last one. This is the last one. Wow, on the 16th one. God answers prayers. See, trust me, God really answers prayers. There were things that I prayed for that I'm seeing happening today. Just be patient, right? Work on your ambitions. Keep moving, like I said previously, because God answers prayers. And as a person of faith myself, and I don't know if you are also a person of faith, you must commit your plans into God's hands. Whatever that you want to do, just don't say, I'm praying about it, and just don't say it because you have to say it and it sounds good. But really commit what you want to do into God's hands. Because I remember when I completed uni, I had a plan, right? I committed it into God's hands. Not everything happened according to my plan, but I can see the maturity, I can see the growth, and I can see that when I committed my plans into God's hands, God just made them work in a way that helped me as an individual to become a better version of myself. So these are 16 things or 16 insights that I want to share with you out of my survival story. I hope that these insights really helped you. If you're a young person, I hope these insights helped you. If you're not a young person, I hope you share with someone who is young so that they could listen and pick cues from it. These are my personal experiences and my personal insights that I want to share with you so that they can be things that you can ponder on for you to be able to live a better life. Thank you very much for joining the Kwabena Power Podcast. Do well to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to talk about, and I'll make time to talk about it so that we can all help each other as we go through the various phases of our lives as young people living in Ghana. Catch you on the next episode.